All right, in this lesson now, you've learned the basic 7 chords in the last lesson. We talked about Bisquick. Now we're going to actually make things with the Bisquick. We're going to add ingredients to the basic 7 chords to make minor, diminished, and augmented chords. When we're done, you're going to know 45 chords, and you will know them without a chord chart and without having to look them up, without having to memorize them. You'll just know how to form them. So I hope you enjoy this, and please take your time. Don't feel like you have to learn this in a week. It probably won't happen. But if you can learn it even in a month, imagine all of the opportunities that are going to open up for you musically. And I'll reiterate again, you can really survive the music world with major and minor chords. You don't need to be a genius and know all the advanced chords to enjoy it. You can sit at a keyboard, you can play single finger chords, and you need to know how to make them a minor chord. And I can give you a little hint now. Most keyboards, if you want to play a minor chord, you just add the black note right below it. So if you want to play an E minor, just play the black key below it together, and the brain or the computer should know that you want it to be a minor chord. Or you can look in your book. I think most of the Yamahas and Casios work that way. Organs, sometimes you have to go up 3/2 steps to find the minor, but look in your owner's manual and it'll tell you how to do it in the easy play mode. So I hope you enjoy what we're going to do today. Everything that we do is pretty easy. I've learned everything the hard way, and this way worked really well for me and most over the years for the students that I've taught. So let's get started, and we'll talk about major, minor, diminished, and augmented chords. All right, now that we've studied page 17 in my book, which was talking about the Bisquick chords, the basic 7 chords. Now that you've kind of got them under your belt, and if you don't, I really, really need you to stop right here and go back to page 17 and learn those chords. C, G, F, D, B flat, A, and E. It's really, really important that you can spell them back on page 13 and play them. All right. If you don't do that, this will all make sense to you, but I really want you to go slow enough to be able to apply it as we go. And at the end of this book, you're going to be shocked at how good you'll be with your chords. But you may not be able to do each one of these sessions in a week. So remember, just take your time, depending on how much time you have to sit and rehearse, and I don't call it practicing, I try not to. And just try to just get comfortable with it, so you don't have to stop and think about it. It will become second nature. So this page says, now that you know how to find the first, third, and fifth step of each chord, we can make 45 more chords easily. Just use the basic 7 chords learned on the previous page and make some very easy changes. Remember, the basic chord structure never changes. Now, I can't even tell you how important that is. The basic chord structure, those 7 basic chords, never changes. It's like that Bisquick box. You can't take the shortening out of the Bisquick. It's just in there. So all you can do is the letters of the chords will never change. You can add sharps and flats and even more notes, but the 3 chord letters will always stay the same. You can't take the Bisquick out of the recipe. You simply add different ingredients to make different dishes. And that is spelled wrong, so I probably should read my own book. In the pages that follow, we will make minor, diminished, and augmented chords, and we'll do that today. Later, we'll add notes to the basic 3 notes that you're learning now and make numbered chords, like 7ths and 6ths and 9ths, that will make you sound really amazing. Now that you've laid the foundation, building these advanced chords will be easy. And trust me, I've been every route there is, and this one is the easiest. Okay? So now we're going to tackle page 19. It says minor chords. All right? The symbol for a minor chord is a little m next to the chord. C, M. All right. So that means C minor. So that means on the back of my Bisquick box, the recipe will say, put in the Bisquick and add the minor. Okay? So it's basically 2 steps that you can think of, so you don't need the chord chart to learn it. All right? So if you say the chord C minor, all right, it means I'm going to put in the Bisquick, which is C, and then I'm going to make it minor. While you're practicing and learning, you probably will do it in that order. The rule for making a major chord a minor chord is flat the third. So all I have to do, and remember last lesson, is find the third and move it back a half step, and it makes it a minor chord. Okay. So, if I'm playing a C chord in the root position, C, E, G, this is the first, this is the third, this is the fifth. All I have to do is move that third back a half step, and now I have a minor chord. Now, when I was doing the classes, and if you bought the book and you got the DVDs that were recorded when I was teaching group, we had these little smiley faces. And major chords make you happy. They're smiley. Minor chords, not so much. They're more dark and scary. So they're not uplifting, happy chords. One of my students says, well, I remember minor chords. All you do is you play the chord and make one minor little change. The minor little change is flat the third. That's it. So if I'm playing a C chord like this, now remember, find the C. The note to the left is the fifth, so the one that's remaining is the third. Minor it, flat it. Just move it back a half step. Major, minor, major, minor, G major, G minor. Here's E. Okay, there E is the first. There's the fifth. The black note is the third. Get rid of it. Now here's another little trick. Remember I told you A, D, and E spell aid? They need help. They have black notes. The A, the D, and the E chord in the minor position don't have black notes. They're all white notes. Okay, and the C, F, and G that initially are all white notes, now they have a black note in them. So they just kind of reverse. Okay, so making minor chords now, I don't know if you're sitting at home and going, oh, wow, all these years I have wondered how to do that so easily. That's all there is to it. But it's kind of like if you didn't build the foundation that we've done in the last 5 or 6 weeks, then you couldn't do this because you wouldn't be able to find the first, third, and fifth or understand how it works. All right? Okay, so this page is pretty self-explanatory. You take all 7 of those basic chords and you just do an exercise. C major, C minor, G major, G minor, E major, E minor, and just go up the scale. C major, C minor. And then do an F. And G. And D. And A. And B flat. And just practice. Now, you can have a lot more fun if you, and we may do some of the future lessons on with some rhythms. But if you have a keyboard, turn the rhythms on. And then you can just play C, da 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 minor. The guy that wrote 2001: A Space Odyssey, he was just practicing major and minor chords. C major, C minor, and he probably made $1 jillion, who knows. But when you're just practicing, you can go G, minor, major, minor. Okay, so you can make the part of music when I was a kid that was really boring, hand-in exercises, which are good for you, but just to sit and just pound on the chord is kind of not fun. And as adults, I want it to be more interesting. So if you're on a piano, just push the damper pedal down. And it's good if you roll them because you know how to spell them. And just, you can play them in any inversion. See, they sound major, minor. Or you can go and just make yourself a concert pianist and and just get more bold. And that's all. A lot of music just comes from that. People just sitting down and working on silly little exercises like this. Okay, the next page. And just remember, minor chords kind of push you down when you play. Major chord, listen, if I play the minor chord, it's kind of like you can hear one note just move down, and it kind of pushes your whole body language down like that. And the further you go, the further down you get. Okay? It's not uplifting and happy time when you do minor chords. So, diminished chords. Now, when you practice a diminished chord, to diminish means to make smaller. And I think we've all experienced over the last few years that with the economy, if they diminish your income, it gets smaller. It's, all right, it's down. If the stock market is diminished, it means it goes down. So diminished chord is actually probably the easiest one of the three that we're going to do between minor, augmented, and diminished. The symbol for diminished chord is D-I-M. C-D-I-M. You might also see C minus. Sometimes they get lazy and they just put a minus sign. Or my very first experience with teaching chords, my student asked me what C with a little circle, a little degree sign next to it. I didn't know. So I said, well, it's over your head. I'll tell you next week. So that's how I learned most of my secrets is while I was teaching, I had to tell them they weren't ready for it yet. So if your teacher ever tells you that, you know they don't know the answer and they'll find out and tell you next week. So the rule for diminished chord is flat the third and the fifth. It's easier if you just say leave the root alone and flat everything else. And later on when we talk about diminished sevenths, because there's really only 3 of them, you'll diminish the 7th also, but that's later. So watch how fun and easy this is. Here's the C chord. Again, we zoom in on the bisquick, the C. Okay, put the bisquick in your head, and then all you do is just pick up the other 2 notes and flat them. Move them down, half step. I think the guy that wrote Swinging Gently was doing this exercise. So he was just sitting there practicing some major chords and diminished chords. And then he inverted it down. Okay? So, if I'm playing an F chord, I hold the F and I flat the other 2. That's it. If it's an A chord, now look at this one. I leave the A alone. I have to flat this note, which makes it a white note, and this one, which makes it a black note. So there's A diminished. You might have to work a little bit on that one. B flat diminished. Okay. So, how easy is that? So think of minor chord, 1 minor little change. flat the third, diminish, 2 changes. Flat everything except the name of the chord. Okay, got those? So take a few minutes on page 20. Do the same thing you did on page 19. Play C chord, C diminished, G chord, G diminished, E chord, E diminished. Okay, and just back and forth and back and forth. And you can do the same little exercises. And just practice them. But again, and I can't reiterate enough, once you know the Bisquick, it's very easy to add the eggs and the milk and all the other things that you can put in to make it something else. Okay, the last one we're going to do is on page 21. These are augmented chords. Now, if I augment your income, it means that you add to it. If I augment anything, it means I'm going to put something into it, or I'm going to raise it. All right? So the rule for an augmented chord is sharp the 5th. Now, remember I told you in the last lesson the 5th is the easiest note to find after the root? Then making it a chord augmented is very easy also. So watch. Here's a C chord. To augment it, I find the root, right? And these were the chords that the minors, diminished, and augmenteds were always the one I had to look up before I knew how to do this. But now I can look at any chord. I know that that's C because C is at the top of the biggest space. The note to the left is the 5th. So that's the easiest note to find other than the root. If I take that 5th and sharp it, now I have an augmented chord. Now see how it raised me up? C chord. And when we start talking about the circle in a few weeks, you're going to see that that chord leads somewhere. You can you hear there's another chord coming? Ta-da! All right, or G, just sharp the 5th, which is, in this case, it's the root position. See? So we'll talk about chord substitutions, what chord you can use in place of another chord if you're bored. So much fun will come after you get all of this. All right? So that's augmented chords. So what you're going to do, the same thing on page 21, C chord, C augmented. See how it keeps going up? Augmented chords will take you up, and diminished. See how they take you down? Okay? And minor chords do the same thing. So, I'm not even going to go any further than that. All right. Now on page 22, it says, memorize. Yay! Now you know 60 chords. Do you believe it? Memorize these rules. Major chord, 1, 3, 5. Minor chord, flat the 3rd. Diminished chord, 1, 3 flat, 5 flat. Augmented chord, 1, 3, 5 sharp. Okay? So here's the examples. I just gave a C chord, but on this page, this is where you should stop for a long time if you're falling a little bit behind, or you may want to just take a couple weeks to do this. This is an exercise sheet for pianos, organs, keyboards, and everything. It says, always learn chords in progression, the way they go. Remember, repetition is the core of learning, so practice these over and over and over. All right, so you're going to start and see it says C major, C minor, C major, C diminished, C major, C augmented. G, major, minor, it's just back and forth. So you're going to play C major, C minor, C major, C diminished, C major, C augmented. All right? And later on we'll do it around the circle so they actually sound like where they go. G major, G minor, G major, G diminished, G major, G augmented, F major, F minor, F major, F diminished, F major, F augmented. All right? Page 23, majorly important. So just take this week or this next couple weeks and learn them in order. If you're playing on an acoustic piano, actually page 23, if you're playing on an organ, keyboard, or digital piano, you can learn them this way. If you're playing on an acoustic piano, page 24 has them all in the root position, and you can learn them that way. Okay, so you can choose how you want to go about doing it. All right, on page 25 is a really good exercise sheet. If someone said to me, what's the best exercise I can do to really, every day, just to get warmed up, I would do this 5-finger scale chord exercise. All it is that you play a C chord and you do the first 5 steps of the C scale, and then you play the root position chord. D scale, first 5 notes, D chord. So you're doing this. You're going to play a C chord here in the root position always, and I'm just going to put both of my hands in what's called the 5-finger C position. And I'm going to go, play the chord here, and I'm going to go. It's kind of like singers use this to warm up. Da-da, da-da, I can't sing, so da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, okay? And then D. I'm using a B because it sounds like the scale. But you can do B flat too. Okay? It's a great exercise. It gets your right hand into the scales and your left hand, and then you can reverse them. Your left hand does not want to play a scale, but it's really good because eventually you're going to want to play chords with your right hand and maybe a melody with your left hand. So you might as well get them both working while you're doing the exercises. All right, now let me show you one more thing because before we go to the next segment, the next lesson, there's black keys chords too. Remember we talked about this? So if you're playing, if you get a song that says F sharp minor, okay, that's Bisquick and 2 ingredients. Say that chord, F sharp minor. All right. I'm thinking, okay, yes, we'll do this. Okay, here's C, and I want to play a C sharp minor chord. Say it with me. C sharp minor. C Bisquick. Sharp means sharp all the notes in the C chord, and minor means flat the third. See, do you see how I'm relating this to Bisquick? And you know what? I think I am going to stop here because I'm going to make a whole nother session out of this lesson. All right, now it's time to stop you and say this is a really good time to really slow down and take your time. You may not want to watch the next video really fast until you're comfortable with this. You know, get an easy playbook and sit and play and see how easily now the chords will come to you as you play. You can also go on our website, sacramentomusicgroup.com, to order my book. I have older videos on musicinNewcastle.com. If you click on tutorials, they're all listed according to topic. So, you know, if you want to learn some little extra things, there's more videos on there that will take you straight to the YouTube channel. I really recommend that if you're doing this series, I'm going to give you a sales pitch now because I'm really proud of this book. Everything we're doing in the series is written in this book. And we're using it as we go. And when we get to the harder section of this book with the circle and all of the diagrams, I'm really going to have a hard time putting them up so you can really use them on YouTube. But I'll show you what we're using, but it's really good if you have the book. It also comes with 2 DVDs. They're not these DVDs. These are the older ones that I did when I was teaching groups. They're fun, we laugh, they're full of jokes, and we use the old-fashioned whiteboard, and it's like being in our class. Over the years, my good friend Richard Pugh recorded them and put them up, and little did we know what was going to happen. People from all over the world now are getting to see what we did before I retired. So now I'm home and really enjoying teaching children, and I think you'll find that this is very helpful. If you need to know some more basics, this book is a real necessity for you. When I refer to music terminology, when I'm talking about half steps and whole steps and scales and things and counting, you really, if you don't know it all, it's hard to find all the information in one book. Usually you buy a book and there's like 5 different levels that you have to go through to get all the information. And I got really tired of trying to find a good series, so I wrote my own. So this one has everything you need to know to play the piano or keyboard, everything. And we did a series, I think it has like 8 weeks of classes in our group session. So there's also a DVD that accompanies this. If you order my first aid chord kit, it comes with the DVD. The book and the DVD are separate for this one because not everybody wants both. So I'm really proud of the books that I've written. They're not big and fat, and people get them and they go, wow, they're not very fat, but they realize that they don't have to be because they're full of information and it's short and to the point, and it'll teach you how to play really quickly. So just join my Facebook page, and there's a link from our website that you can go and just have fun where you're going on the way. Let's see, what is it called? Have fun where you're at on the way to where you're going. And I wish I would have learned that years ago, because people get so wrapped up and so worried about playing good that they don't really have fun while they're doing it. So laugh at yourself when your hands don't work, and just enjoy it. All right, I'll see you next time.